2023 prelims, they again asked about G20 because India was hosting, Delhi hosted the G20 summit, and Pat came the question in your prelims. Such places in news and any conflict you want to understand, see the map of that region. Russia-Ukraine conflict can be explained through the maps. So I was reminded of a quote from Milton Friedman, a free market economist, that if you give Sahara Desert to government, he means socialist government, in 5 years there will be shortage of sand. Since 2013, 33 coups have happened in African countries.
Most aspirants have a routine, study hours, notes, current affairs, revisions. What they don't have is proof that it's working. You keep studying, but you don't know what is improving, what is stuck, and what is quietly going wrong. That uncertainty compounds over months. VisionIAS Delhi GS Foundation course is designed to remove that uncertainty. Classes follow a clear academic sequence, so concepts don't remain isolated. Tests show exactly where answers break down, not just scores. Mentors step in early before confusion hardens into habit. PT 365 and Mains 365 turn daily news into material you can actually use in answers. This is preparation where progress is visible, not assumed. VisionIAS GS Foundation course target 2027 starting from 5th December at 8 am at GTB Nagar and 12th December at 8 am and 23rd December at 5 pm at Karol Bagh. To know more or register, visit our website or call us on the given numbers.
Hello, good evening all of you. We'll be taking the IR questions from 23 to 25, past 3-year IR questions that have been asked in your prelims exam. And before I start discussing these questions, a brief summary of the events around which your questions have been framed. See, IR specifically is not even a part of your prelims exam, but it's a part of current affairs. Unlike your polity or history or geography or economy, which is there in both prelims and mains, there is no specific portion of IR for prelims particularly. But because current affairs is a part of it, and now what we are seeing increase, at least 6 to 7 questions every year are coming from international relations. So what do you think these questions are coming from just random some IR theory or some facts? Or is there a method to it? Is there an approach through which you can prepare for it? What do you think? Is it just random facts are being asked, some random places in news? I have come across certain lists which discusses places in news. So are you supposed to go through most of the places in the world, of course in an online mode, and see what is happening there? How do we prepare this thing? Any idea? See, these places which have been asked in your exam and the regions which have been asked in your exam, most of these places have been making news, unfortunately, for the bad reasons. What are these bad reasons? Most of them are conflict zones. Okay, most of them are conflict zones. Some war or the battle is going on. Like they have asked the neighbors of Ukraine. Why did they ask about the neighbors of Ukraine? Because a war is going on between Ukraine and Russia for more than 3 years now. They have asked the reason like Donbass. Okay, they have asked where is Normandy. So there are certain places which were making news mostly for the wrong reason. Other than this, there are certain regions which are of historical importance and some celebration is happening there, like they asked what is Normandy. So why? Because the Allied forces stormed in there way back in 1944. So such important events, historical milestones have been asked. Then organizations. This prelims, they have asked questions on INSTC. Now why a question on INSTC? INSTC came way back in 2000. So why in 2025 prelims? Any idea, any faint idea about it? So it is seen as an alternative to BRI. BRI came in 2013, INSTC was conceptualized in the year 2000, and two of the important members of INSTC are facing sanctions. And where will it culminate? Russia, of course. Okay, so two of them. Then they asked a question on BIMSTEC. They asked a question on BRICS. BRICS summit did happen. It was all the more important this year. Right? It was all the more important. So changing global contexts have been captured here. Events, organizations, institutions which are in news, mostly for wrong or maybe for right reasons, are being asked in your exam. Does not mean that you have to randomly prepare for a quiz context. You are not appearing for some quiz show that random places which are consistently being asked. Earlier they have asked the members of G20 because the G20 summit did happen. 2023 prelims, they again asked about G20 because India was hosting, Delhi hosted the G20 summit and Pat came the question in your prelims. Okay, they have also asked previously where is Golan Heights. So why did they ask about Golan Heights? This conflict exists since 1948. Why somewhere in 2018 and 19? Because Israel 17 itself, 2017-18, Israel declared Jerusalem as its capital, shifted from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And also said that this area, the Golan Heights, belongs to Israel, and it was both these things were rapidly ratified by the US. US shifted its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and recognized Israel's claim on Golan Heights, which was earlier with Syria. So here comes the question, because Golan Heights was in news consistently for 2-3 months. Okay, Israel took it over long back, but formally recognized only in 18. And you were asked this question. So when you are reading the newspaper, you need to be quite careful. Careful about the places, careful about the regions. And one more thing, we'll start in few minutes from now. Wherever you want to understand any conflict, whether from your prelims perspective, your exam perspective, be it prelims or mains, you need to see the map of that region. Map will give you the exact story. Okay, IR is mostly geography and history. The reasons which water body is near to it, what are the passes near to it, which trade route. Turkey is very, very important country. Why? Because Turkey controls the Bosphorus channel. What is Bosphorus channel? It connects Black Sea with Mediterranean Sea. So such important news you need to know. Such important places you need to know. Okay, a question came about Turkey, that Turkey has given up its membership of NATO. No, Turkey very carefully balances between NATO and with Russia and China both. It is allies with everyone. Again, doing a balancing act. Okay, so such places in news and any conflict you want to understand, see the map of that region. Russia-Ukraine conflict can be explained through the maps. Okay, why this thing has happened? Mostly because of the access to coastal areas, apart from historical and other regions. Okay, So based on these things, you can keep IR preparation in mind. Just be aware of what is going around you, which place is making news for what reason, which institution is making news, which new institution has come up, okay, which old historical celebration is happening, which new anniversary is happening related to history. Such things you need to know. That's all you have to do. Don't have to read any book. You may skip notes also, because that notes will help you in mains, not in prelims. But please make a habit of seeing the maps. Okay, and of course reading current affairs and newspaper. That is what your IR is about, at least for prelims. Not a major chunk. I must confess, it's not a major chunk. It's not a major chunk even in your mains exam. 4 questions, right? But these marks are very instrumental. Missing 4, 5, 6 questions in prelims can cost you the selection. And these are very straight full toss questions. No hard efforts have to be made for it. You can very easily solve them. Okay, let us start with. So again, this question is on NATO. Why this question is on NATO? NATO came in 1949. So why now? You know the context, come on. NATO was formed in 1949. USSR replied with Warsaw Pact. 55. NATO has added new members. 30 members were there, now 31st and 32nd members are there. Which is the latest member of NATO? Which country? After Finland, one more came, Sweden. The 2 Scandinavians have joined NATO, and this has ended what is called a 70-year military non-alignment policy of Finland and Sweden. So see the question that comes out of all these things. Consider the following countries. Now which one of, there are 32 countries. There are 32 countries, so again it's a factual question. I cannot help it. What is the answer here? 4. B is the answer. Which country is not a part? I already said Sweden is a part. Which one can be ruled out? Austria and Serbia. Now if tomorrow they join, that would be an altogether different story, but currently Austria and Serbia are not part of it. Sweden is the latest member. After Finland, Sweden joined. Okay, 32nd member of NATO. So 32 countries are there. Now you can't help, you need to know this. They have also asked which are the members of G20. So 20 countries. Here 32 countries, a broader spectrum. Okay. So when you study about India and USA, certainly NATO will come. In 2023 mains exam, they asked a question on India and NATO proximity mains exam, right? 15 mark question was there. So whenever you study about NATO and its partnership with USA, with India, its issues with India, do see the member countries. Please do see the member countries. There is no other way. Okay, it's a simple factual question because this organization was making news. BIMSTEC. Again, why this thing has been asked? Indonesia? You are confusing it with BRICS. January 2025, Indonesia joined BRICS, 10th member, right? Why this thing has come? Because see, India is aiming something towards with BIMSTEC. It is seen as an alternative of SAARC, but though India has never actually officially declared it, 2022 mains exam, is BIMSTEC an alternative to SAARC? Right? 2022 mains exam, is BIMSTEC an alternative to SAARC? What are the similarities and dissimilarities? And how the formation of latter means BIMSTEC 1997, SAARC 1986. So how the formation of latter aligns with India's current foreign policy. 3-part question for 10 marks they asked. The very next year they asked this thing in prelims. Now one more interesting anecdote I want to share with you. Before this thing was asked in your mains exam 2022. See, I'll be giving certain glimpse about mains also. I hope that would be fine. Because I have not much questions to discuss. Total 20. there is overlapping between geography and IR, so those portions I have left for geography. जहाँ पर soil के बारे में पूछते हैं, flora fauna के बारे में पूछते हैं, तो ये सब geography and environment की चीज़ें हैं. We don't discuss it here. So why? Because see, again, before this 2022 mains exam, the MOS-EM, you all know what is MOS, Minister of State, Dr. Muralidhar Rao was the MOS-EM. He was asked this question during question hour in Parliament. 1 year before this question was asked in your mains exam, that is BIMSTEC an alternative to SAARC? MOS-EM was asked this question in the Parliament in question hour. He replied, of course an elaborate reply he gave, that no, it's not. UPSC picked that question, asked in your mains 2022. Next year they ask again about BIMSTEC in prelims. See the pattern here. Why? Because it is perceived to be an alternative to SAARC. It is almost all those countries minus the obstructionist Pakistan. Though India has not officially said this, but when was the last time we had a SAARC summit? No, not 13. After that, 16. Okay, so after that, almost 10 years it's now. Okay, so yes, this is being seen as. So 7 members, is it right? Yes, this is right. Now Dhaka declaration is not the answer. Bangkok declaration. 1999 nahi hai, 1997 hai. See the close options that you get. See the close options that you get. I'll point towards most such close options in our subsequent questions. Now 1997, 1999, Dhaka declaration, Bangkok declaration. So when you read about, study about BIMSTEC, normally in IR classes what we do, we teach this with Southeast Asia part, okay? SAARC, BIMSTEC, ASEAN, I take together these 3 modules. Because a lot of comparative analysis happens here. So factual details are important for your prelims. Normally what we do, what I prefer to do if I lack time, I distribute a handout that these are the facts. BRICS countries. BRICS started as BRIC. ये भी question आया था. अभी नहीं. It's been almost 8-9 years. Who are the founder member of BRIC? S was added later. It was BRIC. Now, which more countries have been added? What is the GDP of these countries combined? What are the total global population that they control? What is the world trade that they control? These are factual details. What is in it for me or for anyone to explain? If I say that 49.5% of global population is in BRICS country, do I need to explain it? These are factual details. You can be given these factual details. Facts and concepts are important for prelims. Mains is analytical plus conceptual. Mains is factual plus conceptual. Please understand this. So the second option would be wrong. Okay, because it is not Dhaka, it is Bangkok, it is not 99, it is 97. Now see the member state. Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand. Why? Nepal and Bhutan are late addition. It actually started as BIMSTEC. Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka. Okay. Nepal came later. Bangladesh came later. So that statement is wrong. Subsector of tourism is being led by India. Again, very factual question. Very factual. It is led by Nepal, not by India. It is led by Nepal. So how do you remember all these intricate details? How do you remember all these intricate details? So you need to visit these websites. Which website? BIMSTEC website. Just a cursory glance over these organizations. BIMSTEC, SAARC, ASEAN, G20, G7 has almost become redundant. SCO. Just a cursory glance what all initiatives India is taking, how many subsectors are there. Make a habit of doing these things at least 1 to 2 hours every week. That's all I'm asking from you. Apart from reading your current affairs and magazines, just visit these organizations' website for 1 to 2 hours every week other than reading your newspapers and magazines. Okay. Maybe the notes on your IR miss this part. Okay. Which subsector India is leading? Which subsector Nepal is leading? क्योंकि 7-8 subsectors हैं. Now, which country is leading which subsector? This is not something which at least even I would dictate in class. These are factual details, but these factual details need to be captured. Okay, that's how your prelims questions are framed. So, which one would be the correct one? We have already decided this. Second, only first one, right? Now come to BRICS. Now again, why BRICS has been asked? Why BRICS has been asked? The BRICS, the much awaited BRICS summit happened. Now why we are saying much awaited? Why it happens almost every year? So why this is so much awaited this year? Yes, after Trump again went to White House, a rebalancing is seen in India's approach. India is carefully balancing between the Western-led bloc and the Russia-China-led bloc. Plus, more countries are knocking on the doors of BRICS. BRIC, 4 plus 1, 5, total 10 countries. Indonesia is the latest country. Saudi would have been there if not for Donald. Donald actually threatened MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, that dare you join BRICS. So they have, Saudi Arabia has officially not joined BRICS. Saudi is a traditional American ally. Okay, all the Arab states are vassal, Arab countries are vassal states of US. There is a term in IR we use, vassal state, satellite state, जो revolve करता है main state के आगे. Client state, Israel is a client state of USA. Okay, so why this question? Of course, because BRICS is making news. So many details, we talked about it. Now, first statement, 16th BRICS summit was held under the chairmanship of Russia in Kazan, correct? 16th did happen under Russia, Kazan. Second statement, Indonesia has become a full member of BRICS. Yes, it has. Just now I told you, this year 2025, Indonesia joined. Now see the third theme of 16th BRICS summit was strengthening multiculturalism. Multiculturalism is essentially a Western construct. Asian value system नहीं है ये क्या है? Western construct. BRICS will not talk about multiculturalism. BRICS will talk about multilateralism. Okay. Two terms, multipolarity, multilateralism. Multipolarity challenges American hegemony. Different power centers. Multilateralism contributes to American hegemony through the institutions, UNO, WTO, World Bank, IMF, so on and so forth. So BRICS talks about genuine multilateralism. That's why BRICS will have a BRICS bank. That's why BRICS will start lending money to other countries. So third option is ruled out. Okay, BRICS will not talk about multiculturalism. It will focus on what? It will focus on multilateralism. Okay, so correct option here would be 1 and 2. Now see again INSTC. I told you why this question. INSTC को अभी देखते हैं as an alternative to BRI. BRI came in 2013. Bishkek summit, President Xi Jinping announced BRI. INSTC came in 2000. 13 years पहले alternative पे काम शुरू हो गया था क्या? This project is still jeopardized. See, most of India's international projects is jinxed. Give me some examples. One is in front of you. INSTC not completed 25 years. Kaladan multi-model project not completed because there is a situation in Myanmar. Arakan Army versus Tatmadaw versus Chin Nationalist Council. IMEC, the moment it was announced, Hamas attacked Israel. 2023 October. August G20 summit happened. A question came in your prelims. IMEC was announced and the war started. So most of Indian projects, wherever India is a part and India says that this thing will now lead to an alternative to BRI, something or the other happens there. Now 2 of the members are facing sanctions. Iran, you know, for a long time. Russia because of its pursuits in Ukraine. Okay, so if this is formalized, it will give India a lot of maneuvering opportunities. It intends to connect it with another corridor, the NSR, the Northern Sea Route, north of Russia. So once connected, it is seen as an alternative to the busy Suez Canal route. Okay, so what are the options and how many countries are here? Currently 13 countries are here. It started with few countries, 13 countries are here. Now of course, if it is an alternative to BRI, China is not going to be there. Let us see the elimination thing, gone. Now Bangladesh and Myanmar, how will they help? They are in Bay of Bengal. Okay, not much to do with north-south corridor. So we are left with A and B. Now India to Europe through Azerbaijan. Are these countries involved? Europe कैसे involved है? Russia, Turkey, Ukraine. 3 countries out of the 13 countries that I mentioned. Turkey को भी European country तो कहते हैं. Half of it is in Europe, half of it is in Asia. Ukraine and Russia are essentially European countries. Azerbaijan is there, right? But still the correct option is 1. Why? अब इन दोनों में करेक्ट ऑप्शन कैसे चूज करें? बिकॉज इंडिया तो कॉमन, यूरोप इज देयर, सेंट्रल एशिया इज देयर, यूरोप इज देयर, ईरान इज देयर, अजरबैजान. See, in prelims you have to choose the more appropriate option. For example, Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to लोक सभा, राज्यसभा, पार्लियामेंट, प्रेसिडेंट. किसको टिक करोगे? लोक सभा, पार्लियामेंट, प्रेसिडेंट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट, राज्यसभा. आप बताओ. Parliament, because Lok Sabha is a part of Parliament. You have to choose the more appropriate, ज़्यादा सटीक ऑप्शन ढूंढते हैं ना. So फिर if Lok Sabha, I'm giving a very simple example from polity, right? If Lok Sabha and Parliament both are mentioned, you be more specific, you pick Lok Sabha. If Lok Sabha is missing, Parliament is there, you pick Parliament because Lok Sabha is a part of it. So which one is more appropriate here? See, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. All of them are there, right? Plus in Central Asia, when we study Central Asia, what are the issues India faces in Central Asia? Trade is very low. China has almost more than 10 times the trade that India does. Central Asia is called Russia's backyard. Russia is a dear friend, still low trade. Reason is we lack connectivity. We lack connectivity and Central Asia is largely landlocked. 2 of its countries, 5 wonderful republics are there. 2 of its countries share a border with Caspian Sea. So it is not well connected. INSTC is seen as India's approach towards Central Asia, where it will help in the connectivity as well. Through Chabahar, reaching out to Russia, from there to Europe. So A here would be more appropriate. Okay, as I said, you always see the options in front of you and then pick the right one. Now, this is a very simple question and I wonder if it should be a part of IR or not. Or is it some random current affairs? Why UPI should be there in India's in IR part? This is India's soft power at work. Soft power is very much a part of IR. How many countries have adopted it? UAE, France, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Mauritius, Bhutan and Nepal. Qatar is finalized, but Qatar is not an option here. So of all the options, it's again a very factual one. Only 3. B would be here. Now see these regions. See, all these places were making news. All of them. For what? Where is this place? Mallorca, Spain. Something happened there. Something happened there. What was that something? Spain is a beautiful country, right? Tourists go there in large numbers. These people don't like so much of tourists. Why? Anti-tourist protest started there. Why would a place resist tourists? Because tourists require infrastructure, tourists require development. तभी तो टूरिस्ट तो एंटाइटल्ड होते हैं ना कि हमें तो ये चाहिए, हमने पैसे दिए. So that requires infrastructure, that requires pouring in some money, creating something, development. These people are not liking it. So this place in Spain witnessed anti-tourist protests, which is a unique thing. Places try to bring tourists, right? Because it earns them money. So that's why it happened there, and other reasons were also there. Okay, apart from, but it started with massive anti-tourist protest. Now, Normandy, very important, connected with history. What happened? 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings. It is called a D-Day landing. What is the D-Day landing? The Allied forces landed in France in 1944, June, which almost finalized the outcome of the Second World War. Okay, so they celebrated it. They celebrated it with much fanfare. It was cherished as the victory of democracy over Nazism and fascism. So it did happen, but it happened in France. So these countries, 3 countries were there, just that they have been mismatched. None of them is correct, none. And Sardinia, what happened there? Same thing which happened in Mallorca. Anti-tourist protest, and right now what we are witnessing in Europe is the rise of right. Okay, we are witnessing the rise of right, the advent of nationalism in Europe. See, nationalism is not a very favored word in Europe, unlike India. Why? Their nationalism led to 2 world wars. My own country, right or wrong, extreme chauvinism it became. So that's why the concept of European Union, the concept of pooled sovereignty. But the likes of Giorgia Meloni have won back-to-back elections in Italy. She is sitting in a very comfortable position. Her party is supporter of Mussolini. Do you know this? जानो इन चीजों को. But here, a far left party won, defeating Meloni's party. Okay, not far left, center of left. Center of left party won, defeating Meloni's party. Anti-tourist protests are happening there in Sardinia. So, because of this all reasons, Sardinia was also in news. See, all of them are for wrong reasons. कोई अच्छा तो कहीं Nobel Prize तो किसी को मिला नहीं. So जहाँ कहीं उठापटक हो रही है, जहाँ कहीं लठ बज रहे हैं, wherever violence is happening, ethnic conflicts are happening. Myanmar, you need to know which territory Arakan army controls, which one the Chin Nationalist Council controls. Okay, you see the map, make a habit of seeing the map. 10 minutes you do it every day. Okay, see the landlocked countries of Africa, coastal countries of Africa, of Europe, coastal states of India. You will not count by making India map in your prelims, right? Do these things. These are very important map based questions, and if you know the geography, you will understand the conflict to a great extent. Next thing. So see this question. Do you need an explanation here? You know this very well. पूरा नाम सुन के गलत तो नहीं कर दोगे? उनका पूरा नाम यही है, सुब्रमण्यम जयशंकर. 2 very good books he has authored. Do read it. First read this one, okay? This one will offer you more material for your mains exam. Why Bharat Matter is also good, but this one will offer you more material for your exam, both for your mains and interview part. There is a wonderful chapter in India Way, Diplomatic Lessons from Mahabharat. Wonderfully he has explained these things. I doubt anyone would have been confused. यहाँ पे confusion का scope नहीं है. Now see this. Again, Argentina, worst economic crisis. But now they have kind of controlled it. But yes, Argentina was facing worst economic crisis until Javier did the needful, which is a very off-late phenomena, the new president there. Before that, years of hyperinflation, trotting inflation was there. Okay, so first one is correct. Now Sudan. Sudan, there is this organization called RSF. What is that? Rapid Support Forces. It's a militia. Rapid Support Forces is fighting the country's military for a very long time. So it's a civil war like situation there in Sudan. Turkey, no, it has not left NATO. I told you Turkey carefully weighs between NATO members and Russia, China. This guy, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the president of Turkey. Again, he is there for the third time, right? He has firm control on Turkey. He has good ties with Russia, China, and he is a NATO member. So he carefully balances. He plays NATO card with Russia, China. He plays China-Russia card with NATO. And tries to control the situation. So Turkey will not give up its NATO membership. It is very instrumental in Turkey's regional ambition. Middle East is also going through a geopolitical flux. Old alliances are breaking. The American allies, the traditional American allies, Saudi, the Arabs, they are trying to break free from the American influence. So Turkey wants to swing back to the region once it controlled the glorious Ottoman Empire. Khilafat yaad aa raha hai inko. The glorious Caliphate days. Okay, Erdogan wants to resurrect that. Erdogan wants to take the leadership position from Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi. They are trying. For them, NATO membership is instrumental. They will not give it up. Okay, so only two. Next one. Now this Sumed pipeline. Sumed pipeline was in news. You know why? Why this thing was in news? And what is so important about this Sumed pipeline? See the options here is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipment to Europe. Persian Gulf, you know, one is Red Sea, the other one is Persian Gulf. So yes, the first statement is correct. The second statement, what it says, Red Sea with this is why this line is very important. It does connect Red Sea with Mediterranean Sea. Now Red Sea और Mediterranean के बीच में क्या है? Suez Canal. 10% of world trade happens through Suez Canal. Now here you have this Sumed pipeline. Okay, this Sumed pipeline is very much functional there. It's important. That's why this question came. Which is the correct option? A. A being the correct option here. Okay. Next one. Now, Sahel region. What is this Sahel region? I'll show it to you what is Sahel region. 3,900 kilometer stretch it is. Okay, and there are certain countries, the names of which have been mentioned here. Instability and worsening security in Sahel. Yes, wrong reasons. Frequent military coups are happening. You know the coups? So in these regions we have frequent coups. Okay. Burkina Faso, Nigeria, Chad, Sudan, all these countries are here. The next statement, there have been military takeovers, coup in several countries. Yes, that is why there is instability. So what would be the correct option here? A would be the correct option. C, region in news. Sahel region. Repeatedly this thing was featured in newspapers. Now there is no module India and Sahel in your IR. जैसे इंडिया यूएस इंडिया पाकिस्तान इंडिया चाइना पढ़ते हैं ना, इंडिया साहेल नहीं पढ़ते हैं. वी स्टडी इंडिया एंड अफ्रीकन यूनियन, वी स्टडी इंडिया एंड लैटिन अमेरिका, बट देयर वी डोंट राइट सेपरेटली अबाउट साहेल. But because such developments were happening, these facts have been picked. Okay, I'll show you the map also. Now see this. Venezuela has achieved a rapid recovery from its economic crisis and succeeded in preventing its people from fleeing, immigrating to other countries. You wish. Venezuela is going through a lot of tough times. Why? Any idea? World's largest oil reserve होने के बाद. So anyone who does not know about these two facts will think कि ये तो mutually contradictory है. To be honest, I have not talked about this in IR classes. I happen to teach polity also and political science. So there, when I was explaining socialism, you all know socialism, preamble में पढ़ते हैं. वेनेजुएला की मैंने कहानी बताई थी एक बार. While explaining socialism, critique of socialism में. It has the largest oil reserve. Oil was here. Where? Here. So Hugo Chavez was the kind of dictator of Venezuela. He used to drill oil from this height and provide lot of freebies and lecture world on the benefits of socialism. और TED talk नहीं था, नहीं तो आता उसका. Now, because he rolled out the doles, did not build capacity, the oil came here. आ जाएगा ना भाई, अपने आप तो रिसाइकल होगा नहीं. It will take thousands of years. Now Venezuela has no technology to drill oil from this height. They could drill oil from this height, not from this height. So a survey was done, quite sad part, that can rabbit meat solve the hunger crisis of Venezuela? And I was like, countries which always ask questions, why is everyone not equal, end up asking these questions. Can the rabbit meat solve the hunger problem of Venezuela? It received oil, it purchased oil from other Arab countries. So I was reminded of a quote from Milton Friedman, a free market economist, that if you give Sahara Desert to government, he means socialist government, in 5 years there will be shortage of sand. Okay. So I gave Venezuela example over there. कि बताओ ऑयल रिजर्व अभी भी है इस कंट्री के पास, रैबिट मीट से हंगर प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. सेकेंड फैक्ट इज करेक्ट, दे हैव हाईएस्ट ऑयल रिजर्व. They are unable to drill oil because they don't have the capabilities, they don't have the know-hows. कभी स्किल जनरेट ही नहीं की. हुगो शैवेज was busy lecturing benefits of socialism to the world. कब तक? Gone. So both these statements, first one is not correct. It's a wishful thinking. So which one? D. Okay? D would be the option here. Now see this question. Ukraine, border with Ukraine, again see, very factual question, map based question. Okay, how many of them share, and why this question is there, that also you know. Why? The war is happening, so of course only two. Which one? Bulgaria is there. Bulgaria is not there. Hungary is there. Hungary and Romania. I have the map. I'll try to show you, but Bulgaria is not there. Okay, Hungary and Romania are there. A would be the answer here. Now moving on. Again, which country? Decades of civil strife. You can guess it. You can guess it from here. Even if you have been occasionally reading the newspapers. Somalia, of course. Somalia is, for more than 30 years it is having a civil war. And it refuses to abate. There is no solution in the pipeline. Many international organizations have gone there, likes of UN, likes of Amnesty, peacekeeping forces. So many people have tried doing the needful, nothing has succeeded here. Bitter factions emerged there. This country is facing the worst time, the way Afghanistan is facing. Okay, still there is a humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. Okay, so is there in Somalia. Now see this statement. Stability and Growth Pact of EU is a treaty that limits the level of budgetary deficit of countries of EU. Budgetary deficit, you all know what it means? What? What is budgetary deficit? Yes, your expenditures, simplest term, it's not economics, so expenditure should not be more than your earnings. So deficit को control में करना चाहिए. Now why EU is talking about that? Rich people, they have still not recovered from the 2008 financial crisis. And a series of crises have happened, including COVID and Russia-Ukraine war and Israel-Palestine, and logistics supplies have been hit. Russia-Ukraine war. Russia and Ukraine used to supply a lot of stuff, edible stuff, and Russia is a vital reserve of energy sources. Europe was dependent on Russia for these things. Now it is trying to work out these things on its own. Finally, getting rid of its energy dependence on Russia, but the process will take time. By the way, Russia has found alternate markets in India and China, right? So, first thing, they have been told that please control this. Now, first statement is correct, makes the countries of EU to share their infrastructure facilities. No. See, why this option is ruled out? There is no glaring infrastructure deficit in European countries. ऐसा नहीं है कि फ्रांस का बहुत अच्छा है, स्पेन का बहुत खराब है. No. Almost at the same level. So second option is not viable here. Enable the countries of EU to share the technologies. Again the same thing. Okay. They have, unless it comes to the critical and emerging technologies, their traditional technologies are almost the same. So again, A, only one. That's the correct option here. Now see this. UN have adopted the first ever compact for international migration, the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration, GCM it is called. Now what is this GCM? Ever come across it? India UN में कहीं इसके बारे में पढ़ा? Again, this was in news. This was in news, and no, actually none of these are the correct options here. D is the correct option. See, first of all, why it is wrong? Because it's not about this international migration. इस पर एक जेनेवा कन्वेंशन जरूर है, but UN ने इसको पास नहीं किया है अभी. At least in GCM. Then binding, nothing is binding. Is there anything binding on sovereign countries? Nothing. ये तो voluntary है. UN के mandate को रोज लोग वायलेट करते हैं. ICJ के मैंडेट को लोग वायलेट करते हैं. UN ट्राइब्यूनल ने फिलीपींस को फेवर में रूलिंग की, चाइना रिफ्यूज टू वकेट दैट पर्टिकुलर स्पेस. सो नो, दैट्स नॉट बाइंडिंग, लीगली बाइंडिंग नहीं है चीजें. GCM addresses internal, no, as I told you, it does not. So D again is the correct option over here. Now next one, North Kivu and Ituri. Where are these countries? Again, conflict zones. Democratic Republic of Congo. Democratic Republic of Congo, which is not there. Now, where is this country? This one is this Nagorno-Karabakh. This is legally controlled by Azerbaijan. Armenia has claimed on it, and a lot of war happened, lot of conflict happened in the past years. It is not there in Mozambique. Now Kherson and this one, Zaporizhzhia, ये कहाँ है? Ukraine, one of the 4 provinces which were nuclear power तो थे, which were controlled by Russia in the year 2022 itself. These two and Donetsk and Luhansk, Eastern Ukraine का part है ये सब. So again, map based question, repeatedly they were making news. These 2 provinces were making news, and Donetsk and Luhansk. Now these areas share border, okay, with Russia. You have pro-Russian militias in these regions. You have pro-Russian militias in this region. Now why these portions share border with pro-Russia sentiments? Ethnicity was replaced by the likes of Stalin. How Russian speaking people are there? Somewhere in 1930s, when Stalin was ruling over Soviet Union, he created an artificial famine in this region. Thousands of people died. Artificial famine he created. And then when people died, he replaced them with indigenous Russians. So that legacy still continues. The eastern part it is. This region shares ethnic similarity and some soft corner for the Russia. That's why these two, Donetsk, Luhansk, were at the earliest liberated by Russia. The pro-Russia militias are working there. Okay. So that's why this question also came. Conflict zone. Now, which one is correct here then? None of them, wrongly matched. Now see this thing. Israel has established diplomatic relations with some Arab states. It started with Camp David Accord, Israel and Egypt, 1979. Then Oslo Accord, Israel and Palestine, 1993. दो पार्ट है उसके, 93 and 94, 95. Then Israel Jordan Treaty, 1994. Then Middle East Quartet, 2002. Palestine, EU, USA, Russia, of course Israel was a part of it. Purpose क्या था Middle East Quartet का? To create institutional facilities in Palestine, bring some peace. Okay. और फिर Abraham Accords, the latest of all, 2020. You know about Abraham Accords for sure. So first statement, अभी इतने सारे examples दिख गए. Second one, Arab Peace Initiative mediated by Saudi Arabia was signed by Israel and Arab League. इसको Saudi Initiative भी कहते हैं. Okay. Saudi Arabia initiated it, but it has not been signed by Israel. See, Saudi and Israel have a, unwritten understanding. Both of them are American allies. America for long wants them to come together. Abraham Accords happens, UAE is there, Bahrain is there, Israel is there, right? Morocco is there. So UAE is going there, Saudi will come there in some time. मान लो बात. UAE and Saudi, MBZ and MBS, Mohammed bin Zayed and Mohammed bin Salman, very close. So Saudi was about to join Abraham Accord, but then the war started. Okay, so what is happening? Saudi and Israel for now are not coming together. USA has not succeeded in bringing two of its allies together in the region for so many years. On the contrary, China has brought US adversary Iran and US friend Saudi together in 2023. Okay, so keep these developments in mind. It will help you solve all these questions with no effort. कुछ है ही नहीं, कुछ conceptual clarity and some factual updates you require. That's it. So what would be the correct option here? Second statement is wrong. So C is the correct option here. Now see this thing. Donbass. Donbass कहाँ है? Donbass is in Ukraine. Donbass there in Ukraine, and yes, it is one of the conflict zones. Massive firing and all. Still some part Russia claims, some part Ukraine claims. So that's why it was asked. Kachin कहाँ पर है? What happened there in Kachin, Myanmar? You have this KIA, Kachin Independent Army. See, Myanmar again is witnessing ethnic conflicts. Ethnic militias are there, जैसे Arakan Army, जैसे KIA, जैसे CNC, Chin Nationalist Council. All of them are challenging the mighty Tatmadaw, the Myanmar military. उसको कहते हैं Tatmadaw. So Tatmadaw is facing a turf war on its own territory by these ethnic EAOs कहते हैं इनको, ethnic armed organizations. So KIA was there. KIA is still fighting the Tatmadaw in this Kachin region. Now what is this Tigray? Ethiopia. Tigray is in Ethiopia. This one. Now why this question has been asked? Because civil war was going on, bitter civil war was going on. 2022 the civil war stopped and a peace accord was signed at this place. So see the relevance, how to prepare IR for your prelims. ओके, सच क्वेश्चंस रिपीटेडली कमिंग, यही थीम्स है और कुछ नहीं है. नाउ सी दिस, व्हाट डू यू थिंक इन जगहों पे क्या हुआ होगा? कहां पर ये सब? विच पार्ट ऑफ अफ्रीका? सब साधारण कहेंगे. सो वाई दे विल बी मेकिंग यूज रिच डिपॉजिट्स ऑफ रेयर अर्थ. रेयर अर्थ कहां पे है? चाइना में, और कहीं नहीं है क्या? यस, बट इनके पास तो नहीं है रेयर अर्थ. देन चाइनीज मिलिट्री बेसेस लॉन्ग बैक हो तो कब का हो गया? चाइना का डेट भी और चाइना की मिलिट्री भी यहां पर अच्छी खासी इन रीजन्स में. साउथवर्ड एक्सपेंशन ऑफ सहारा डेजर्ट, इफ दैट वाज द रीजन आई वुड नॉट हैव टेकन दिस क्वेश्चन. फिर ज्योग्राफी में पढ़ना. सो सक्सेसफुल कूज, repeated coups since 2013. 33 coups have happened in African countries. When we talk about this India and African Union, when I teach, तो issues India क्या face करता है वहाँ पे? हम लोग लैटिन अमेरिका को बोलते हैं कि गोल्डी लॉक जोन है. गोल्डी लॉक ज्योग्राफी में पढ़ते होगे. क्यों बोलते हैं? बिकॉज Latin America does not throw tantrums like Western markets, like Europe and USA. I want this kind of quality of your products. I have such regulations. Follow my regulations, otherwise your products will be disqualified. Okay, competition is tough in Western countries, but market is there. In Africa, you have market, they don't have purchasing power. क्या बेचोगे उनको? पैसा ही नहीं है उनके पास. Okay, somewhere in between comes Goldilocks zone of Latin America. Better purchasing power than Africa, better law and order than Africa. One problem India faces in Africa is our investments are not safe. Now we cannot bring military posts like China. Africans will not like it. That's why Africans are turning towards India. They don't want China to be there. तो issue ही क्या है वहां पर कि we face lot of coups, instability, political instability. See, post-colonial states, this term is used for those countries which became free after Second World War. African, Asian, Latin American. Where do you see functioning democracy? इंडिया के नेबर्स में बता दो कहां पे. If Pakistan is a democracy, बांग्लादेश, म्यांमार 54 साल तक उनता रही है, अभी देखो क्या चल रहा है. तत्मादाव वर्सेस एवरीवन. श्रीलंका 35 years of civil war. The moment they recovered, economic downfall happened. Maldives is too small. इंडिया ही तो दिखता है functioning democracy. You can do things largely the way you wish. Again, largely 1901 है restricted by 1902. Okay, so post-colonial states, you will not find democracy percolating in African countries. Institutions are absent. Most of the Asian countries, democratic institutions are absent. All thanks to the Constitution of India. Maintain रखा है कुछ चीज़ों को, right? तो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे यही आती है. Political instability, security issue. How will you go and put your money over there when you don't have the return on your life? How will there be return on investment? Okay, now see this. G20 group was originally established as a platform. It's right, actually. How many of you know about this Asian crisis 1997? The Asian tigers, ये सब पढ़े हो? It's part of your actually, तो economics में भी नहीं पढ़ाते हैं, because you don't study macroeconomics, right? You study Indian economy. So G20 was founded in 1999. Okay, developed plus developing emerging markets. G8 था उस समय. G8 became G7 when Obama kicked out Russia from G8. It became G7. 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea. तो G8 और G7 plus emerging markets सब बन जाते हैं G20. Okay. Now 1999 it was formed. Okay, same thing. platform for finance minister and central bank governors to discuss the international economic and financial issues. Now, digital public infrastructure is one of India's G20 priorities, is it?
Current affairs. Every aspirant knows it's crucial. Yet it's the one area that becomes chaotic the fastest. A couple of missed newspapers, a skipped magazine, PIB piling up. And before you realize it, the backlog starts controlling your preparation. But imagine if that entire year of current affairs was organized for you. That's what PD 365 brings, a complete year of current affairs for Prelims 2026, taught in just 60 focused hours. All major sources, newspapers, PIB, Yojana, economic survey, budget, important reports, compiled into one streamlined program. A pure prelims first approach, so you study only what matters, nothing extra. Flexible learning with live classes or online sessions at your pace. Expert mentors who break down complex issues and clear doubts instantly. And integrated Sandhan practice, over 25,000 MCQs personalized to your strengths and weaknesses. This is how current affairs stop being overwhelming and starts giving you a real advantage. Join the batch starting from 8th January at 5 p.m. and command your current affairs for prelim success. To register or any queries, visit our website or call us on the given numbers.
Of course it is. और ये क्यों आया क्वेश्चन? क्योंकि इसी साल, ये 2023 का क्वेश्चन है, इसी साल दिल्ली ने G20 को होस्ट किया था. सो सी, वन क्वेश्चन, वन स्टेटमेंट इज ऑन current India's priority, one statement is on why this organization was formed. So the theoretical aspect and the current aspect both have been asked. Both of them are correct option. Okay, G20 summit happened in Delhi. That's why this has been asked. Any questions that you have on how and what of your IR? References? Anything you want to know? Duration as in? कितने मंथ पहले का करंट अफेयर? ये बात तो अजय कुमार जी नहीं बता पाए. अजय कुमार जी इज द चेयरमैन ऑफ यूपीएससी. उन्होंने अभी कुछ किया था ना सेशन. So it's a good initiative. If UPSC chairperson is doing sessions, people like you should populate it. उसको flood कर दो. पूछो उनसे question, and he was more than willing to answer. So one aspirant asked this question कि सर कितने महीने का current affairs करना है? So see, you cannot draw a boundary here. Okay, it's very tough to draw a boundary. But you also have your limitations. You have your limitations. So I think 1.5 years would be sufficient. 1.5 years would be more than sufficient. Focus on 12 plus 6, 18 months. That's it. उससे ज़्यादा कैसे करोगे? You have to study the static part. You have to study other subjects also. So there is no point investing too much in current affairs. The return is not worth it. Okay, so 1.5 years is more than sufficient. See the organizations, see the places which are in news, the conflict zone, the maps, Ukraine being attacked by Russia, see the map of both Russia and Ukraine. See the water bodies near. Sahel is making news, see what all countries come under Sahel. See to the map. Everything is easily available to all of you. Current affairs and newspapers will help you. And some theoretical foundation you require, wherever you have studied or you have studied on your own, try to have comprehensive notes. The devil lies in details. Selective study से ये exam नहीं निकलेगा. Okay, so go for comprehensive notes, the inside out of any organization or the place. Yes. As in major, minor नहीं समझा. नहीं वही तो बोल रहा हूँ ना. हिज क्वेश्चन इज दैट मे बी रशिया एंड अमेरिका आर मेजर रीजन्स. ठीक है, आई गॉट इट, बट मेजर पोर्शन ऑफ योर IR, राइट? So that's what I said, conflict zones are important. Now whether those zones are in Russia or America does not matter. It can be in Africa, and Africa में तो सबसे ज़्यादा है. ट्रेजिडी जहाँ हो रही है उस जगह के इनसाइड आउट को जान लो. कितनी कंट्रीज के साथ इनके बॉर्डर शेयर होते हैं, कौन सी वाटर बॉडी है, कौन सा नैरो पास है. टर्की की पावर बॉस्फोरस चैनल से आती है, उसको कंट्रोल करता है. रशिया नहीं चाहता है कि यूक्रेन भी नेटो ज्वाइन करे. रशिया 2 नेटो पर नहीं डिपेंड करना चाहता है फॉर इट्स एक्सेस टू मेडिटेरेनियन सी. ऑलरेडी टर्की इज अ मेंबर ऑफ नेटो, यूक्रेन ज्वाइंस नेटो, रशिया मे लूज एक्सेस ऑल द वे टू मेडिटेरेनियन सी. ओके, सो ये मैप्स विल टेल यू द इंटायर थिंग. हिस्ट्री एंड ज्योग्राफी इज ऑल IR इज अबाउट. हाँ, नहीं सी. Which question by the way you are referring to? So ये इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में ही नहीं था और अखबार में भी था. ये तो मेंस का क्वेश्चन था ना. Yes, so India Africa digital partnership is the newest initiative between India and Africa. देखो, इंडिया अफ्रीका के साथ अच्छे रिलेशंस तो हैं, ओके, एंड इंडिया इज रीचिंग आउट. China has already reached out, but African countries are not liking it because China comes with a lot of baggage. China क्या करता है? Summit style diplomacy करता है. What is summit style diplomacy? China will sit here along with group of African countries. Come here one by one. ये कोई तरीका है? India does not do this. India ने 1-2 बार किया, अफ्रीका को अच्छा नहीं लगा. Africa is like, come on, you are one of us. Now you have become rich, so you will do like this. तो इंडिया अब समिट स्टाइल नहीं करता है. ये तरीका नहीं ना है. ट्रीट दे आर सोवरेन कंट्रीज. दे वेंट टू द फ्यूनरल ऑफ क्वीन एलिजाबेथ. वॉल्वो बस आई थी उनको लेने के लिए, अफ्रीकन लीडर्स को. दे वर लाइक, आर वी स्कूल किड्स? दे वेंट टू रशिया, पुतिन सेंड लिमोजिन. सी द एक्चुअल जो सेंचुरी ऑफ ह्यूमिलेशन हुआ है वो अफ्रीका के साथ हुआ है, चाइना के साथ नहीं हुआ है. You know about this century of humiliation, which started from the Opium War, continued till 1949. Mao's China जब तक आया, तो China कहता है कि we have faced century of humiliation. It will not end until we take over Taiwan. ये China का official statement है. Actual century of humiliation Africans have faced. Only thing they want is dignity. They are proud sovereign countries who are trying to do well for their own people, of course amidst all these constraints. तो उनको इंडिया के रूप में दिखता है कि एक ऐसी कंट्री है जो हमारे साथ रही है. बांदुंग कॉन्फ्रेंस 1955, नेहरू जी ने साथ दिया था इनका, मोदी जी भी दे रहे हैं. ओके, तो एफ्रो एशियन यूनिटी, साउथ साउथ कोऑपरेशन, ये चीज़ 50s में भी थी, अभी भी है. कहाँ चेंज हुआ है? तो उनको एक डिपेंडेबल पार्टनर दिखता है इंडिया के लिए. अब इंडिया कैसे डिजिटल इकोनॉमी पे क्यों स्ट्रेस दे रहा है? वाई वी चैंपियन इट इन G20? वी इंक्लूडेड अफ्रीकन यूनियन इन G20, राइट? यू मस्ट हैव सीन दैट आइकॉनिक वीडियो. ओके, सो व्हाई ऑल दिस थिंग्स? बिकॉज अफ्रीका में जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, वी वांट टू लेवरेज दिस. मोस्ट ऑफ द गुड्स फ्रॉम अफ्रीका फेस 0 टैरिफ इन इंडिया. वाई? सब प्राइमरी गुड्स है. वहां से शिया बटर मंगाओ, उसको प्रोसेस करो, ब्यूटी क्रीम बनाओ, लोग मुंह पे लगाएंगे. That's how it works. उनके लिए भी विन विन, हमारे लिए भी विन विन. ओके, सो ओनली थिंग दे वांट इज इक्वल स्टेटस अपॉर्चुनिटी दो उनको. तो जब डिजिटल पार्टनरशिप विल इंक्रीज द फॉर्मल साइज ऑफ द इकोनॉमी, करेक्ट, लीकेजेस विल स्टॉप. वी हैव सक्सेसफुली इंप्लीमेंटेड दीज थिंग्स हियर. जैम, ट्रिनिटी, दिस दैट हुआ है ना भाई, डिलीवरी तो हुई है इन चीज़ों की. तो ये चीज़ वहाँ भी जरूरी है. तो इंडिया इन चीज़ को चैंपियन कर रहा है. Without proper digital infra, these things cannot happen. So no, not only the newspaper that you are naming, it was there in other newspapers also. 3-4 stage का process बताया गया था, the exact thing that was asked in your exam. So when you study about such initiatives, read newspapers a bit more carefully. देखो, newspaper में truth कहाँ है पता है? Sports page पे. Correct me if I am wrong. Right? Editorial is biased view. You need to skim out things for your exam from there. ओपिनियन है वो तो ना, उसमें कौन सा ओपिनियन तुम्हारे काम का तुमको छांटना पड़ेगा. बाय द वे, दिस वाज नॉट इवन इन एडिटोरियल, दिस वाज इन वन एडिटोरियल इन द हिंदू. बाकी जगहों पर तो ये एज अ पीस ऑफ न्यूज था. सो व्हेन यू एज एन एस्पिरेंट आर टर्निंग द पेजेस ऑफ न्यूज़पेपर, योर रडार शुड कैच इट. कीप योर आईज एंड ईयर्स ओपन एंड माउथ अ बिट क्लोज्ड. बोलो कम, सुनो और देखो ज़्यादा. ज्ञान नहीं देना है तुम लोग को, वो हमारा काम है. तो ऐसा कुछ दिखे, सिलेबस स्ट्राइक करो. सिलेबस रोज देखो, गो थ्रू योर सिलेबस एवरी डे. डोंट नीड टू मेमोराइज इट. 4 पेजेस का सिलेबस है ना, तो उसको हर दिन देखो, जानो कि पेपर 4 में इमोशनल क्वोशेंट नाम की कोई चीज़ लिखी है तो उसका क्या मतलब, उस पर कुछ मटेरियल है कि नहीं तुम्हारे पास. ओके, आईआर में तो बहुत छोटा सा सिलेबस दिया है. ओके, बट इंडिया अफ्रीका के बीच में कुछ चल रहा है तो वो शुड बी इन अ पोजिशन टू जॉट डाउन पॉइंट्स एंड प्रोसीड अकॉर्डिंगली. ऑब्वियस ही चीज़ करनी है. सी, योर एग्जाम इज़ अ वेरी कन्वेंशनल एग्जाम. देर इज़ नो स्कोप फॉर डिसरप्शंस एंड दिस एंड दैट. ऐसे कर देंगे कुछ नहीं काम करता है. ओल्ड स्कूल एग्जाम है ये. एकेडमिक है, वही रेस का घोड़ा है ये. तांगे का घोड़ा है, रेस का घोड़ा नहीं है. दिन भर दौड़ना पड़ता है इसको. सो डेविल लाइज इन डिटेल द सेम ओल्ड स्कूल थिंग्स जो शुरू से बताई गई, वही सब करना है. यस, एनी फर्दर क्वेरीज? Fair enough then. All the best to all of you. Let me search if I am able to get this one. Somewhere it was. Two images were there of Sahel and okay, what we'll do is we will pin it in the comment section. Okay, 2-3 images in the form of PDF. Anyways, you will get this, so I'll attach it in this itself. At the end of this last question, 2-3 more images we'll attach and pin it in the comment section. All the best to all of you.